One of the most common questions that people ask me when they first really get to know me is how do you manage? How do I manage? How do I manage to be able to get good grades in school while also being able to run a daily YouTube show, while also being in cross country, and while also being in piano? Like, some people even go as far as asking me like, do you ever even have time for fun? Which, by the way, I do. But in today's episode, I'm going to tell you how I was able to get really good at managing my time and also give you some tips on how you can get better at managing your time as well. So let's get started. So tip number one is that, well, if you want to get better at managing your time, you have to realize that it's not going to come easy. So you're going to have to make some changes. And with changes, it takes time. Break that old bad habit of not managing your time properly. Really, you're going to have to literally dig yourself out of this hole and build new habits. Start creating this time with better time management in mind. So with that being said, create goals, create deadlines, because without deadlines, without goals, you're not going to get anywhere. Now, I'm not saying you have to have a goal for every single thing that you do, but try to have at least one goal in each sub. For example, I have a goal in piano, I have a goal for my school grades, I have a goal for this channel, and I also have goals, multiple goals for my running. Those are all things I want to continue to do, and those are all things I want to get better at. And that's having good time management and also, you know, still having time, like freedom, like having time for fun, having time for hanging out with your friends or hanging out with your family. Tip number two is to cut out all unnecessary things in your life. Like anything that's not a priority to you, get it out of your life immediately, because that's gonna be the only way, well, not the only way, but it's gonna play a major role in how good you are at time management or how bad you are at time management. If you had all these things that were not a priority to you but you were just doing for fun, well, for one, that's just wasting time. You're literally just wasting time. That time that you're wasting, you could be using that on other things like, you know, your actual priorities. Now, of course, it's different if you have all of your stuff done, you have all of your stuff together, then that doesn't really matter. Unless you really want to get ahead, which I do suggest. If you want to get ahead on future, whether it be future projects or if you're in school like how I am, future assignments that are probably due like in 5 days or so, just take care of them now. So that way, say something happens in the future, you don't have to worry so much. You don't have to worry at all about, because, well, you already took care of that. And tip number three, and if you didn't like, for some reason, the other two tips that I didn't give you, definitely follow this one. You will regret it so tip number three is to wake up early. And by early, I don't mean 7 o'clock. I don't even mean 6 o'clock. I personally get up at 4:30, 5 a.m. Now, I know that's not going to work for everybody, so that's why I'm not like, but say your normal wake up time's like 7, try to get up an hour and a half to 2 hours, or even 2 hours and a half if you can, just to really maximize your day. Now, of course, if you get up earlier, that means you're also gonna have to go to sleep earlier. But it also means that in the morning, you have a clear mind. Nobody's up. If you live in a house full of siblings that are usually loud by 8 o'clock in the morning, at 4:30 or 5 in the morning, it's dead silent. No traffic. I live close to an airport. No airplanes, no trains, absolutely nothing at 4:30 until like 5:30 or 6 in the morning. That's when traffic begins to pick up. Trust me, this will severely enhance your day. Like when it's your 10 o'clock, it's barely people's 8 o'clock. So you're basically living 2 hours ahead of them. And by you being ahead, that means you're always on top of your stuff. Or if you're not, you have time to catch up on your stuff. Now, before you go type in the comments that like, whoa, I'm not a morning person. What if I'm not Trust me, that's actually great, because I can relate to you. I thought I wasn't a morning person either, but then I was like, well, if I could get up at 7 a.m., then I could get up at 10 a.m. If I could get up at 10 a.m., I could get up at 6 a.m. And if I could get up at basically any time I want, I could also get up at 5 a.m. It just starts with, like I said, if you have these old habits of not having good time management, first take yourself out of that and then begin to dig these new habits. Like when I started getting up early, my goal was 5 a.m. and I was usually waking up around 7. One day wake up at 6:45, other day 6:30, other day 6:15, other day 6, 5:45, 5:30, all the way till I got to 5 a.m. and then sometimes I'll even get up at 4:30. I've gotten up as early as 4. And it's funny too, because some people don't even believe me when I tell them that. It's true, and that's why I'm usually in bed by like 9, 10 o'clock, sometimes even 8:30, because I'm just exhausted. But again, it's 8:30 p.m. I still have 2 extra hours because I got up 2 extra hours early, and that's on top of my already stacked habits of me having good time management. So as you tie all the knots and put all the chips together, you begin to realize, you begin to see that how much time management really affects your life. If you have great time management, you could have literally the best life anyone could ever ask for, even if you have nothing. And if you have poor time management, you could have all the stuff in the world, but if you don't know how to manage your time, I know I've done a video on this before already, but time is like the one thing in life that you can never ever get back. Like, doesn't matter what you do, you're never gonna get any time back. Like, yeah. And the moment you realize that, you'll never be the same. You'll never be the same again. So that is it for today's episode, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I will see you tomorrow. See you in a couple days, or I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.